Hello, my name is Xonevant. Today is Wednesday, February the 11th, and I just got through reading this article about Capcom's new game called Deep Down. And I'm just wondering, is this game gonna kill itself before it even hits the market? Let's talk about the details right here on The Daily Dose. I remember seeing this game at E3. I actually watched all the live events, via the internet. And I remember seeing this game. And initially I was like, man, is this going to be the next Demon Souls, Dark Souls game, And I know that for the last 2 days we've talked about Bloodborne, but I guess we'll just keep this streak alive. I was like, this is going to be the next Souls game because it looked a lot like a Souls game. They had the whole CG sequence where the dragon was blowing fire on him and he had his shield up, and it just looked very reminiscent of a Souls type game. And then obviously it said it was called Deep Down, and then made by Capcom. We're like, oh, so it's not a Souls game. This is going to be a game that's probably similar, but it's not what we thought it was going to be. And I was like, well, that's good, because I do want From Software to be working on these games. I really do. I think they do the best job with these type of games, right? But Capcom's new game called Deep Down, I'm reading this article yesterday, and it's saying that the game is going to have a 10-year life cycle, which is weird to me. 10-year life cycle, and it's going to have the free-to-play business model. Jesus, really? See, the free-to-play business model is, I think, really good for tablets and phones and stuff like that. I think it works, but I just don't understand how it's trying to get its footing into the console market. I just don't get it, guys. I just don't get it. The free-to-play model, this is what scares me. They're going to release this game for free. It's going to be just like every other free-to-play experience. It's going to have that, neutered type feel to it, and it's not going to feel complete. It's going to feel like, man, I got to tack on all this stuff to get the complete experience. Not to mention, they have said that this game will have some type of multiplayer. I don't know if it'll be a multiplayer experience that's very similar to Dark Souls, Demon Souls, that kind of multiplayer experience, but they did say it was going to have some kind of multiplayer experience. So if it's free to play, you got to ask yourself, well, how are they going to make their money? They have to make money off this game, right? They're not making it truly for free. None of these free to play business models are truly free. You see what I'm saying? And this is a game that I'm really hyped for because I do like that kind of experience, but I don't want to get a game for free and then be milked for the next 10 years. 10 years financially. And I don't know. I don't even know if this console generation is going to last 10 years, right? So I don't know. It just blows my mind how this kind of concept keeps, catching on. And from what the article is saying is that they feel like the free-to-play business model is eventually going to be the primary business model for consoles. And I'm like, really? I mean, do I need to just walk away from console gaming completely? Because if it all goes free to play, if it all goes microtransactions, I'm outie. I will go back to retro gaming or play old games that I didn't get to play, right? In the PS2, PS3, 360 area, that sort of thing. I'll go back. I will walk away from this industry like it ain't nobody's business. If I'm going to be milked for dollars here, dollars there over the course of 5 years. I mean, can you imagine if you had 30 games at your house and all of them were milking you for 6 to 7 years? Think about that. Think of how much money you'd be spending on incomplete experiences out the gate. And I'm just wondering if this type of business model is going to kill a game like this before it even hits the market. Now, they've also said that they have this diagram, and they showed like a little image of it in the article that I read, a little diagram that shows their kind of like their action plan for receiving feedback from fans of the series and then making tweaks based on that feedback. They say that they hope that the fans will automatically kind of fall in line with what they have planned for the game, but they will tweak it, obviously, based on fan feedback, which I think is a good and a bad thing, because I think when you try to appease that many fans, obviously, when you make one happy, you're going to make the other one mad. I kind of just wish developers would make a game and say, hey, the people who are going to like it are going to like it. The people who are not going to like it, not going to like it. And just kind of make that divide. I think when you create a game, especially if it's free to play and people start playing it, enjoying it, and then they want to maybe start buying stuff, and they do invest that money, which I think is not a smart play. But if they do invest that money, maybe multiplayer feels a certain way one day to them. They love it. They enjoy it. And we're not talking about nerfs and buffs on weapons and stuff like that. I'm talking about the gameplay mechanics as a whole. And we've seen this with multiplayer where it all changes. It all feels different. Then one day you go in, you're enjoying multiplayer, and then the next day you go in and it feels different because they made all these tweaks because the fans who didn't like multiplayer got their way. And now the multiplayer experience benefits them and not you. You see what I'm saying? And like I said, we're not talking about a neutral multiplayer experience where they're saying, hey, there's something wrong in the game that needs to be fixed, right? There's a weapon that's overpowered or something. We're not talking about those kind of tweaks. I think those kind of tweaks are good, and I'm glad they're able to go in and fix those. I'm just talking about people complaining. You see what I'm saying? People complaining, I just want this, I just want that, and then the next thing you know, it feels different. It changes. And for it to have that organic feel for 6 to 7 years, especially if you're throwing down cash, I don't know how periodically they're going to ask for money. But I don't know. I'm just worried about this game. And I was really excited about a game like this. And now I'm sitting here going, I don't know if I even want to get this game, even if it's free. Because if I do like it, then it's kind of like teasing me, right? It's like, dang, I like the game. But now for me to really enjoy it, I got to shell out cash for 7 to 10 years. And that to me, I feel more like a slave at that point to the industry. And I think as consumers, really, when you think about it, the gaming industry is our slave, right? Because without us, none of this thing works. Without our money, none of this stuff works. So I'd be interested to see what you guys got to say about this game. Maybe you haven't even heard much about this game, but you should have been seeing it on the screen this whole time. Hopefully, I didn't get copyrighted for it. But it's very reminiscent of like that Dark Souls, Demon Souls, franchise. But it's made by Capcom. It's called Deep Down. And I'm just worried about this business model, guys. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. I'll see you guys right back here tomorrow.